I've had a lot of requests on Goblin 3-3 free to play to get 3-star. Really easy to do. It's all about the gear you have on your supporting cast, all about the gear you have on Sigrid. It's great to have a captain ability of attack like we have right now from a rare Latalis up there. Plus we have a 5-man bonus that I've been putting extra points into to get extra damage with fire and poison. Let's run this. It's really quick. So whenever Dinch does his ultimate, we get 15% additional attack on the whole entire team, and we start out with 15% additional attack from the main character, or maybe it's 20%, whatever he gives us. Now we're getting debuffs up with Latalis. We got Sigrid popping off, but we need specific gear on Sigrid. We need, decent gear on your main character because he does so much damage, or she, whoever you picked as your main character with the lizard folk and half elves. But Sigrid needs to be strong, so she needs to be in the gear that we have for. Latalis just needs to be able to apply the debuffs. Look at Sig. Sig is just pop, pop, pop. We've got, again, Dinch. There he goes, giving us that increased attack. We've got our main tank, Horus, with his ultimate turned off. So he doesn't get in, like if he turn it on, he'll sit there with his shield down and then everybody else will run past him. Although right now, it doesn't look like he's doing too well. Some people are running past him for some reason. I don't know why. It's okay. We've got plenty of damage with our main character along with Sigrid doing what she does. Up here, we've got some more debuffs up there with Dinch. Sigrid's almost ready to go. We're almost to the 3-star mark. We got to beat these guys right now. Let's go. And Sigrid's ready to go again. And she didn't need to. Okay, she didn't need to, but there we go. We got a 3-star on Goblin Lair 3. And again, all about the gear, all about that captain ability. Use food if you need to. It's all about your elemental advantage, which I'll show you mine after we do this next run, and about that captain ability. With that rare, we're getting 24% additional attack. Now we have Dane in here. Dane has 2 AoE abilities, but he's not strong. I don't even have him set up as strong. I just have him with those 2 AoE abilities to apply debuffs, and then he's got that set on that will give the whole entire team 15% additional attack when he does his ultimate, which he just did. So he's really there just to support, but he does have 2 ultimates. One's the big triangle, the other one's the 3x3. So he's getting us some more debuffs. If you have Fur Bath, put Fur Bath in the front as your tank because Fur Bath can do decreased attack on his ultimate. Those are more debuffs for the enemy to die with, so Sigrid will get her ultimate gauge increase, and then more debuffs that Sigrid will pop off and hit everybody with. So anybody you can bring in to apply more debuffs, we're just feeding Sigrid. That's all we're doing. We're just feeding her. We've got no food on this run, and it's a little bit cleaner because we're getting more debuffs up, more so than Dinch, only because Dinch has, I think, either a longer cooldown. He just seems a little bit slower, but he's working. I mean, Dinch works, and they're level 90. They're not 5s. They're not rank 5. They're just level 90 as the support. But we do need our Sigrid 100, and you should have her 100. You should have her scrolled, right? Everybody's got a strong Sigrid. We're using her for everything. That's it. Latalis is a rare poison hero that I've used a lot lately going through content because we can knock back that ultimate gauge on this battle skill. It's really strong. We can also put up a debuff here in this big diamond shaped, and we can put up a debuff anytime Latalis does damage. We have a 50% chance to put up decrease attack 1. Even though it's 25%, it'll still save us a lot of damage. This rare is rated really high on my rare tier list. It's a great rare to use, like really good to knock back the boss's ultimate gauge by 20% over and over again. So using him here along with this attack ability is really, really good to do. Then we've got Dinch to do the debuffs. We've got that set on to give us that 15% additional attack whenever we do our ultimate. And then we've got our main character just set up to do damage. We've got him in the Platinum Knight set. We don't have him in the Gambler set, which is what we would use when we do the Vortex boss. Yes, Gambler there, but Platinum Knight here. We want 30% additional damage on our ultimate, and we want to carry that 30% additional damage, hopefully, over to our battle skills to get more damage on our battle skills as well. But when we fire this off, our ultimate will do 30% additional damage, and then for 10 seconds, we get that. So we need that additional damage. It's going to help us. Attack percentage, we've got crit rate here, critical damage there, attack here, and then we're using this to get us a little bit more crit rate so we can take advantage of this critical damage we have on him right now. Horus is in his tank set. We just turn off his ultimate. Otherwise, he'll do his ultimate and stand there, and he'll be way back, and everybody will run forward, and we won't even see where he's at because he'll just stand way back there. So make sure you turn that ultimate off. Again, if you have the better tank, to make this 5-person affinity, then use a different tank. Use somebody that can either do more damage or apply debuffs like Fur Bath. Because right now, you see the elemental advantage for the 5 team? I'm getting 25% additional elemental damage plus 26% additional attack. All right, Sigrid. Sigrid is the same thing. Platinum Knight set. We want that 30% additional damage every time she does an ultimate. And man, you saw how many times was she firing off an ultimate? All the time. Ultimate after ultimate after ultimate, she was doing it. So always getting that additional damage. Attack percentage here, crit rate here, critical damage there, accuracy to land her debuffs. Now, if we wanted more damage, we could switch this out. We don't need her debuffs. We've got a lot of other people applying debuffs for the enemy to die with debuffs on and for them to have debuffs so she'll attack everybody. We don't really need that. We could actually take this off and get a legendary or an epic attack one and then maybe get some cool substats like I've got here. Crit rate, critical damage is beautiful. Then I've got the Ion. What is she always doing? She's always doing her ultimate. 20% additional ultimate damage. Then 30% from the set. Then we've got attack and attack here. This is why she's hitting so hard. This is the gear I use in Arena to down everybody. And then, of course, I have her scrolled because she's worth it, right? She is worth it. So it's that easy to do Goblin if you're focusing on your Sigrid. I don't know what you're doing with your elemental advantage. If you're going a different way, if you're using Dauntless a lot in the Vortex boss, or that's where you're starting at, you know, eventually we'll have this thing maxed out. But right now, you're starting somewhere. You got 15% additional for all elements when you have a 5-team bonus, and then you can go into, you know, whatever else you want to do. If you're doing Frost, and if I was still doing Frost, then I would use my old Frost team I was doing as I was coming up, because I was using Rava and Vetemir. They're all epics, right? I had Rava and Vetemir. Rava's putting up all the Frost debuffs. Vetimir's doing that massive ultimate that's bouncing between everyone, doing those micro explosions when there's Frost up. We also have Dorkarez all the way leveled up to 100. So I had a Frost team. And then I had Usha running in the lead, taking care of us. And then you could bring in somebody to help out with healing, like Varesh, or you could bring in Zarloth to do 2. He does 2 AoE abilities with Zarloth, and to get the healing in there. That would be good to do as well. So that Frost team is strong, yes, but I'm using, I mean, look at how many epics I was using back then. I was using Rava, using Vetemir, then I had to bring in Usha. She was really the only rare, and this team is so much easier. Plus, I already made a choice to get higher poison fire damage because I'm using Total Nan, Fur Bath, all those guys on the Vortex boss currently, so I went fire first. And because I was always using Sigrid nonstop, so yeah, this is the way I went. Let me know if you've got any questions about this build down below. Let me know if you have any ideas on how to make it stronger. I think we have a really good gear selection. We could actually have somebody else in here with more of this gear to give more 15% additional attack if we really wanted to. Just make sure you're a main MC. This Traveler is geared well because he does such good damage. Amazingly good damage. Almost close, really, to what Sigrid does damage-wise. So you need those 2 strong. Anybody else can kind of be support. And if you had them stagger their ultimates, which you could set that up in the timing, then we'd have 100% uptime on 15% additional damage, which might help us out. And you know this is helping us out, 24% additional. And then food, right? We've got food we can always eat for 10% additional attack. If you really wanted to go with the higher rarity one, you could get 5% fire damage and then 10% attack. And then you'll be set. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. I will see you all in a video soon.